There are a variety of career opportunities that students can pick within the College of Health and Behavioral Studies. Many of those options are health-oriented careers.
I've gotten to do incredible patient interaction. It's really given me a better outlook on the activities and procedures that I'll be doing as a nurse. And without this program, without its rigor, I don't feel like I could be an adequate nurse.
There are so many different aspects of social work, whether it's working with policy on the macro scale, or with groups, or with individuals. So just knowing that there's so much variety to this field and that I can do anything with it really attracted me to it.
The Kinesiology Program fosters learning much different than just classroom and taking notes. We're teaching them how they themselves can be better people, how they can eat better.
I don't know if I've ever made an appointment with a professor. If I see them in the hall and ask if they have time to talk, they'll always make time.
We have this attitude here that anybody is welcome, and that we will embrace you, and that we will enjoy teaching you, and that you will enjoy learning from us.
Hi everybody, I'm Linda Plitt-Donaldson, one of the Associate Deans of the College of Health and Behavioral Studies. I'm also the Director of our Institute for Innovation in Health and Human Services. Today I am delighted to be joined by 4 of my colleagues, and I'm going to invite each one of them to introduce her or himself. So why don't we start with Dr. Kevin Appel, who's the head of our psychology department. Kevin, you need to unmute.
Hi, we're glad that you're here, and we look forward to answering your questions. I know this is a real hard time to decide where to go to college, and we're looking forward to helping you. And the Department of Psychology is all about answering the question, why? Why do people and animals do the things they do?
Great. And Dr. Andy Peachy from Health Sciences.
Hello, and congratulations on your acceptance to JMU. As Linda said, my name is Andy Peachy, and I'm the academic unit head for the Department of Health Sciences. I've been at JMU for 9 years now and can't imagine being anywhere else. Soon you will say the same thing. I'm excited to answer your questions today and look forward to meeting you in the fall.
And now let's hear from Kelly Schumann, academic advisor for the School of Nursing.
Good afternoon. My name is Kelly Schumann. I am the academic advisor for the School of Nursing here at James Madison University. I'm super excited to get to meet all of you, excited for you that you've been admitted to JMU, and happy to answer any questions that you have today.
Last but never least, Dr. Jennifer Walsh, the undergrad program director for Dietetics.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm excited to be here with you, so welcome. I am, as Dr. Plitt-Donaldson said, I am the undergraduate program director for Dietetics, but I'm also here as a representative of our Department of Health Professions. We represent 5 programs: Health Services Administration, Dietetics, Athletic Training, Occupational Therapy, and Physician Assistants. And so we really are, again, glad that you're here and hoping to help you develop your career as a future health professional.
And these panelists represent most of our undergraduate majors at CHBS, but not all. We also have kinesiology, where students can concentrate on either exercise science or physical and health education teacher education. We also have communication sciences and disorders. That's a pre-professional major that prepares students for graduate study in speech-language pathology or audiology. And we also have an undergraduate major in social work, which prepares students for careers in social services or for graduate social work education. So there's a lot to choose from in CHBS. I want to point out that embedded in your Facebook page should be links to the choices presentations that were given for each of our undergraduate majors. Also, there are frequently asked questions pages there as well, and a link to our pre-professional health program where you can learn about pre-med, pre-OT, pre-athletic training, those pre-professional majors as well. From the list of our undergraduate programs, you can see that our college prepares students for careers in health and other helping professions, and these are among the fastest growing careers in our economy. Also, as our COVID-19 context points out, these are careers that make a meaningful difference in people's lives. At JMU, students will be educated by top faculty who teach in our nationally ranked programs. The Bachelor's Degree Center described JMU as, I quote, one of Virginia's most trusted and highly ranked institutions, a real point of pride in a state known for its exceptional higher education, end quote. In addition to getting a high quality education, you'll be joining a community that prides itself on care, on relationships. President Alger talks about the centrality of close relationships between faculty and students that helps to cultivate both the head and the heart. So we think of JMU as a really special place, and we experience it that way as well. With that brief overview of CHBS, I want to pose a few questions to our panelists to get us started before opening it up to questions from the audience. So first, panelists, tell me why everyone viewing today should choose JMU. And we will start with Kelly Schumann.
You know, I love this question, Linda. It is one that I ask my students when they first come to JMU, why did you choose JMU? And I would tell you that the most common answer among my students, and also the answer for me, is that JMU is a large school, but it feels like a small community, a small town feeling where everyone is a part of a community. And you couldn't ask for a better place to be because of the large scale opportunities we're able to offer because of our size, but also the small town feel that our students get to be a part of when they're with us.
That's great. Andy, what about you?
I'm really impressed with our focus on undergraduate education. Have great students and faculty in the Department of Health Sciences and other departments within the college who are committed to creating change in a variety of healthcare settings. The current pandemic underscores the needs for health professionals to be prepared in ways that are more than just the biology of a disease. And I think we would do a really great job at that.
Awesome. Kevin, what would you say?
So in psychology, we provide our students with lots of unique opportunities. So in other majors, the other majors in our college do the same, where our students aren't just studying their field, but they're actually doing the field. So in psychology major, our students have chances to do research, have chances to do internships, and we're contributing to the field of psychology, not just studying it.
Fantastic. Jennifer?
Yeah, similar to what Kevin's sharing is that we are an engaged university, and especially in CHBS, our students are engaged through our faculty in the classroom, but also beyond that. So when we think about opportunities for clinical experience or community service learning or research or civil engagement, there are opportunities beyond the classroom. And I think that's what makes JMU so special too, which is that students are able to connect really well in smaller class sizes within the classroom, but also with their faculty outside of the classroom as well in all of those engagement opportunities.
Fantastic. And I just want to put in a word for the Institute I had mentioned. You know, in addition to all of our CHBS programs, most of them having clinicals, having practicums, having field, having engaged learning opportunities, we have this Institute for Innovation in Health and Human Services where students can be engaged in one of the 28 programs that serve the Harrisonburg, Rockingham County, and other areas of the Commonwealth. So that's a great way to sort of wrap up that question, is all of those things, and we are deeply engaged and committed to making a difference in the community. The next question I'd like to pose is, I bet our viewers are wondering, well, what kind of careers could I get with a major in health sciences or psychology or dietetics or nursing? So Andy, why don't you field that question first?
Sure. The majority of our students plan on pursuing a graduate degree, either in occupational therapy, physical therapy, physician assistant studies, medicine, dentistry, or public health. Straight out of the undergraduate degree, we have people working in non-clinical healthcare settings, working for profit or government agencies, as well as research assistants in various settings.
Fantastic. How about you, Jennifer?
Sure. So Our programs for our undergraduate programs, students leaving our Health Services Administration program are ready to go ahead and enter into administrative roles if that is their next step, and for many that is the case. So whether that's in a hospital setting, long-term care, assisted living, a variety of settings, our students typically will find their first job. And then for dietetics, we have prepared our students well to take that next step to becoming a registered dietitian nutritionist. So they are pursuing either an internship or supervised practice or it's grad school to fulfill that next step so that they are eventually ready for the RDN exam. In addition, our graduate programs have prepared our students for entry-level practice in occupational therapy, athletic training, or physician assistant.
That's great. Kevin, what do our psychology majors do when they graduate from JMU?
It's a great question, one we get all the time. Our major does two things. We prepare our students for graduate school, and we also prepare our students for employment. About a third of our students go to graduate school right away. About another third, so a total 2/3 go to graduate school within 5 years. And if you do the math, that's a third who are very happy in the workforce. And our majors do a variety of things. They have excellent training. Some of our majors go into the business world. Some of our students go into human services. Some go more into criminal justice and justice studies. And finally, some go into some type of a research position. And to help our students get ready for that job market, we have an optional 1 credit hour course that students can take to learn about how to apply for jobs and how they can really leverage the skills they get in our major.
It's fantastic that you have that course support for the career advice. Kelly, how about nursing? I guess a lot of people think they know what nurses do, but what kind of careers do our BSNs get into? Maybe Kelly is frozen. Kelly, can you, so let me just, are you on?
Yes, I'm so sorry. We're having like the craziest windstorm and my electricity keeps going out. Welcome to social distancing. I can add to that last question about careers just to say one important thing I think it's important for nursing majors to understand is that I know there's oftentimes a preconceived notion that the only type of nurse is a nurse that works on a hospital floor, and those are an amazing necessary nurse career field, which you can see right now, right? We have a huge shortage of nurses in our state, especially right now and across our country, and a specific need right now for hospital nurses, but nurses of all types. And our nursing majors get to do all sorts of different things when they graduate. You can work in community health, you can work in home health, you can work in things that have to do with politics and government and in health careers. Then there are all these amazing graduate school opportunities where you can specialize as a nurse practitioner. And in the state of Virginia, you can even practice with autonomy as a nurse practitioner, which isn't the same for a lot of other pre-professional health fields. So it's really a wide range of opportunities for nursing majors, and we introduce our students to all of those during their undergraduate program. They get to experience each of those specialties, they get to learn about each of those opportunities, and our graduate school here even offers most of those post-grad opportunities for our nursing majors as well.
Hey, Kelly, while you have the floor, let me pose a question that came in from Olivia, okay? Olivia says, I want to work with something under pediatrics, either NP pediatrics or PA pediatrics. Would nursing be a good major for me? Well,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you repeat that question for me? I'm so sorry about the electrical issues we're having.
That's fine. Olivia said that she wants to work with something under pediatrics, either NP pediatrics or PA pediatrics, and wondered if nursing would then be a good major for her.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, as a nursing major, you're going to be trained as a generalist registered nurse, and that's the exam you're going to sit for to become a generalist nurse. Then you'll have an opportunity to apply for nurse residencies after you graduate, and if pediatrics is something you're interested in, that's definitely the way to go. And then after about a year to
While we're waiting for Kelly to make her way through the windstorm, I want to affirm Savannah's thought. Savannah wrote in, I want to major in kinesiology and minor in pre-physical therapy. That sounds great. That sounds like a really good track for you, Savannah. So I affirm that idea. Katerina is asking, does JMU have cardiac rehab? Can any of you speak to that? I mean, maybe Jennifer in the PA program, I think that's not something that you would be majoring in as an undergraduate major. You might go into pre-professional health, pre-med, or one of the pre-PA program, something like that. That would make the most sense, I think, for somebody who is interested in cardiac rehab. I'm going to turn to our next question for the panelists before we, as more questions trickle in. Could you talk about some of the specialized learning experiences that you have with your students? For example, some of you have state-of-the-art lab facilities. Some of you engage your students in research opportunities or community-based learning opportunities. So maybe, Jennifer, you could start by talking about some of the specialized experience people have in dietetics or some of the health professions.
Absolutely, wonderful. So absolutely, when I first started or introduced myself, I mentioned a lot of the engaged learning opportunities at JMU. And so as we think about those specialized learning experiences, that kind of goes hand in hand. So for the most part, when we start looking at our faculty, they are all trained very highly in being able to engage students in a way that's beyond the lecture in the classroom. But from there, when we think about outside of the classroom, phenomenal partnerships with a lot of other healthcare professionals across the state and even beyond the state to allow our students to be working closely with other healthcare providers to be thinking about, to actually have that experience with direct patient care, to be working with organizations in the community that perhaps need some of our services and where our students can really be instrumental in their learning process and also being able to contribute to the community locally. And then as well as that, a lot of our students are engaged in civilly. So we're oftentimes seeing groups of students go to Richmond to advocate for legislation related to our programs in the field of healthcare. So there's a lot of different opportunities. When we talk about some of the facilities and resources, an example is with dietetics. We have a state licensed commercial kitchen. Our students are really trained well at, Kelly was mentioning kind of the generalist, thinking about there's realms, very many areas of practice in dietetics as well. So we can think about dietitians working in a hospital, but we can also think about them perhaps working in retail at a grocery store or in industry with food development, or we could think about workplace wellness. So the realm of where the settings for dietetics practice are vast. And so one of the areas our students are trained in is food service management. And so with that large commercial kitchen, we actually see students every Friday preparing a meal for 50 patrons essentially to come in and enjoy this meal. So restaurant management, large food production, all of those aspects of nutrition and food is really important when we start thinking about that food and nutrition connection. And so that's kind of one of those specialized learning experiences that we offer our students.
That sounds great. I'm going to pause in asking some of you to answer that question just to get a question in from one of the guests. So Kevin, this will be to you, and maybe you could also weave in a little bit of the engaged learning opportunities. Kimberly writes, I'm coming in as a transfer junior student. What would my last 2 years in psychology look like?
It's a great question, Kimberly. And it depends on what courses you've already had. Typically, when someone comes in as a transfer student, if they've had if we require our students to take a 2-semester methodology sequence. So if you've had methodology courses at your previous institution, you can dive right into our core classes. If you have not, you would take those. And once students clear the 2-semester methodology sequence, they then take psychology content classes and wrap things up with a capstone. And as Linda mentioned, our students have lots of opportunities to do some specialized learning. So it's not just classroom learning, also out of classroom learning. So our students can do internships, our students can go out in the community, and our students have ample opportunities to do research. And as a transfer student coming in, those opportunities would be for you as well.
The next question I'd like to pose to Andy Peachy. This is from Kayla. She's saying, I'm currently declared as a nursing major. However, I'm still contemplating health sciences. Are the required courses pretty similar in both of these majors, just in case I decide to switch majors?
Good question. So it's not uncommon for students to double major in nursing and health sciences, especially in those first 2 years. Many of the requirements that nursing has for their secondary admission process also count as health sciences required courses. And so you can make progress in both majors at the same time. And then in the junior and senior year, the paths would differ. And so by that time, hopefully we've had enough contact with you that you decide which one might be better for you. But it is possible to continue and graduate with both degrees, but most likely by the time you're in your junior or junior year, you'll have made that determination.
Andy, while you have the floor, maybe you could field this other question that came in from Evan. He's wondering if he could double major if he was interested in pre-PT.
So pre-PT is a minor, and so you could have any major that you wanted on campus and add the pre-PT minor. And then you would be supported by the Office of Pre-Professional Health, and they would help counsel you in which courses were required for that minor. So also some students would double major in kinesiology and health sciences and still add that minor in pre-physical therapy. So it's possible to double major and add a minor. You would just want to make sure that you have enough time to be successful in those courses and that you're not stretching yourself too thin. You know, the most important thing is to be passionate about what you're doing, and either health sciences or kinesiology can be a path forward to those graduate programs with the pre-PT minor. So just figuring out which one is best for you. And we have students declare as health sciences and then change to kinesiology, or certainly the other way around, start as kinesiology and change to health sciences. We're in the same college. We have advisors in both departments, work daily with each other, so that switch is not complicated. There are some dates you need to worry about, but that's a little bit down the road.
Great. Kelly, welcome back. I see you've found, I was going to say shelter in the outdoors, but
yeah, I had to leave home to get and use a hotspot. So now I have access to the internet. I'm so very sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you for making that effort to use your hotspot and so on. See, that's the beauty of Harrisonburg, Rockingham County, and the surrounding area. We're rural and urban and have all range of opportunities for learning. Kevin, this is for you, although I think I might know the answer, but I'll put this out to you. Grace is interested in majoring in psychology and wonders if she's guaranteed entry to a JMU graduate program after she gets her JMU undergrad degree.
Great question. So first off, JMU has multiple graduate psychology programs. Psychology programs in counseling, we have graduate psychology programs in experimental psychology, psychological science, so there's a variety of different programs. And they are separate programs, so there is not guaranteed admission. But we, as a department, will help prepare our students. We have an excellent rate of students going to graduate school. And I mentioned earlier, we have a 1 credit hour class to help students with the process of applying for jobs. We also have a 1 credit hour class, totally elective, totally optional, to help students with the process of preparing for graduate school.
That's great. Kelly, I have a question. We'll start with you to answer this, okay? This is Kayla kind of following up on her previous question about comparing nursing and health sciences. She's saying, I've taken several dual enrollment courses in high school, such as Bio 101, 102, Psych 201, 202. Will these still transfer to JMU's nursing program, or the health sciences program. So Kelly, can you speak to that, please?
Sure, of course. We actually are seeing more and more students every year who have dual enrollment and AP credit that count towards their general education requirements and their prerequisites. The JMU Registrar has an amazing front-facing transfer equivalency guide that our students and future students can access on their website, where you can actually go and you can search for your institution, the community college or other school where you took those courses for dual enrollment, and you can find out if that class will transfer to JMU and what it will come here as. And then once you know that, if you match that up with the list of the nursing prerequisites on our website, then you'll know that if JMU approves it, then so does the School of Nursing.
That's great. Andy, do you want to build on that?
I think that was the great answer. So in general, we are trying to make transferring credits as straightforward and as seamless as possible. So there are established procedures to try and make that as clear to incoming students. And in general, we try to have those courses count. And then we'll also have students talk to the Office of Pre-Professional Health again to see how grad schools might look at those courses. So there might be instances where JMU will accept it, health sciences would accept it, but you also might want to consider how that will impact your graduate school application. So lots of things to think about, but we have everyone here is geared toward helping you find the best answer for yourself.
Andy, while you have the floor, could you answer Elena's question? She would like to know, what is the difference between health sciences and nursing? And then Kelly could add on.
Sure. So nursing is the four-year undergraduate degree where you get to end up sitting for the exam to see if you can be a clinical nurse. Health science is a four-year degree. There is no registry or exam after graduation. And so it's a little bit similar into psychology, where it prepares you for a variety of careers. And again, probably two-thirds of our students plan on pursuing graduate degrees. And so if you know that you want to be an occupational therapist or physical therapist, physician assistant studies, again, I would say health sciences might be the more direct route there than nursing. So I see them as different career paths to individuals interested in providing clinical care.
Kelly, do you want to add?
I think he said that very well. Certainly I hear from students quite often with the question of, well, I would like to become a physical therapist. I thought I would do nursing school first and get my clinical hours that way. I definitely would not recommend that option. It's really not the best way to earn the clinical hours that you need for other things. Nursing is a very prescribed sequence of courses where we really are teaching you and training you to be a generalist nurse and to sit for that board exam and get your registered nurse's license. So if you know you want to be a nurse or pursue nurse practitioner or DNP down the road or nurse educator, then the undergraduate BSN degree is the way to go. If you're looking at pre-PA, occupational therapy, those sorts of things, nursing is not the right degree. And not just for the reason that it doesn't prepare you with the right things, but in addition, it would take a lot longer for you to finish the things you need to finish to apply to those graduate programs, because the sciences and maths that you take for each of these degrees is very specific. And for those pre-PA programs and pre-med programs, you're going to take a different set of math and science. So you're going to end up being at JMU a lot longer.
Great points. Kevin, I have a couple of psychology questions for you, and I'm going to give you both of them and you can respond. The first question is from Megan. She's interested in forensic psychology. So she wonders if anybody, if you could provide some more guidance toward a forensic psychology path at JMU. And then the other question is, can transfer students be part of a psychology learning community? So forensic psychology and a learning community for transfer students in psychology.
Great. So as far as forensic psychology, we have a lot of students interested in that. Oftentimes what students do, if they're interested in forensic psychology, they often minor in criminal justice, and that fits really well with the psychology major. We also have a faculty member who works with police officers and does research with that, and sometimes students like to work with her on her projects. And we also have one of our upper level courses is on forensic psychology for students. So hopefully that gives you a sense of what you can do with forensic psychology here. And then in terms of the psychology learning community, this is a first year student dormitory. So this program is just for first year students. And it's an opportunity for first year students to live together for the year and take some classes together. Unfortunately, that's not for transfer students.
So Kevin, before you mute yourself, another question came in. This is from Layla. My end goal is to become a clinical psychologist. Are there specific majors, minors I need to make getting into a graduate program as soon as possible?
Clinical psychology is a great field. Many of our students are interested in clinical psychology, and the right major for that, or one of the right majors for that, is definitely psychology. And you do not need to have a minor, but one thing I would encourage someone interested in clinical psychology is getting as much out of the classroom experience as possible. And so I would encourage a student interested in clinical to maybe do one of our internships or work on field work, and also encourage you to get some research experience. And one of our website lists a lot of our research opportunities. One of our research opportunities involves transcribing psychotherapy sessions, which is a great way to see what happens in a therapy session.
That's a great opportunity. Andy Peachy, does a health science major allow students to become an ultrasound technician after graduation, or does this major not align with this career choice?
It would not allow you to be an ultrasound technician without further education, so I don't think it's the most direct route that you would take if that was your ultimate career goal.
Mm-hmm. Great. Wonderful. So Jennifer Walsh, we have a question from Ashley. What information can you provide on the athletic training program and the graduate school path at JMU? Is there a 4+1 or similar track?
Thank you, Ashley. Actually, at this time, it's just happening now. We are transitioning from an undergraduate program to an accredited graduate program. So as of actually May, we will have only the graduate athletic training program. So it will be wanting to perhaps pursue a different undergraduate in order to come into that athletic training graduate program.
Fantastic. Kelly, while you were out finding a place to keep participating in our group, I was asking the panelists to talk about the sim labs and the other kinds of engaged learning. And could you talk a little bit about the simulation labs and engaged learning opportunities for our nursing majors?
Absolutely. The sim labs are like the coolest place in the health and behavioral studies building, if you ask me. If you haven't had an opportunity to tour our labs and visit our building, I hope that you'll get that opportunity very soon when all this clears up. We have access to incredible facilities in our new building. Our nursing students get to participate in high fidelity simulations for each semester of their BSN program. And our mannequins are amazing. They can, our high fidelity mannequins in the simulation labs can do just about anything you and I can do except get up and walk out of the room. Our students get to do full assessments and exams in situations that may seem very real, but also allow them to have the safety of understanding and knowing that they're not going to hurt someone. So it's a very safe learning environment where students are not under the pressure of that feeling that they may hurt or do something that might hurt a person or do badly to someone that's actually a real human. So that's kind of nice, and it's a really supportive environment where our faculty participate in debriefing our students after each of their simulations and talk with them about how it felt to be in that environment, what they were feeling, what they were experiencing in the environment, and they get to work together to process those things. It's such a great opportunity. We also have skills labs, assessment labs, and we hire standardized patients, which are human actors, who participate as the patients in many of our simulations as well.
Great. So Emily has written in asking about being a communication sciences and disorders major and wanting to work with children. And could she be on track to work with children, or could she also focus on other age groups? And just to remind you that the CSD major is a pre-professional major that would prepare you for graduate work. And we have opportunities to work with both children and adults. So I think there would be no problem. We have clinics, speech language pathology clinics, we have audiology clinics, and there would be a way for you to get more exposure to those populations through those clinics as an undergraduate student. Here's a question that is coming in from Katerina. Again, as an exercise science and kinesiology major, can you work with someone to figure out which career in the field is right for you and how you can fit into the field? Absolutely. Our kinesiology department is phenomenal. Also, a place that has a lot of great labs. We have the Morrison Bruce Center that works with girls and education and self-esteem and empowerment. And the faculty is there and the advising is there to help you figure out the right track for you in kinesiology. So absolutely there's support for you there. Jennifer, approximately how many students are in the athletic training program, and what is the pass rate for receiving athletic training certification?
Wonderful. So as we're transitioning to the graduate program, we have a cohort of 16 students that we are accepting into the graduate program. Our undergraduate program that no longer has phased out now was larger than that, but as they've shifted, the entry-level degree to become a certified athletic trainer is now a master's level degree, which is why we transitioned to that program. And our pass rate has been significantly high for our undergraduate program, but as I share that we are now moving towards that graduate program and are just getting started.
That's great. Kelly, could you speak about the pass rates in the nursing program?
Sure. I would love to speak about our pass rates. We're extremely proud of our pass rates on the NCLEX exam. The NCLEX is the nationally normed board exam, pardon the wind, for the registered nurse's license. Our pass rate over the past year on the first attempt at the test has been in between 96 and 97% pass. So that's huge. We stay classically in the high 90s for those percents because our students are very well prepared for that exam.
Fantastic. While you have the floor, I've got a couple more questions about nursing. Could you please review the nursing program application process, first of all? When would you apply? Is it 113 students each semester or each year? If you could just explain that.
Sure, of course.
Could you speak to what hospitals our JMU nursing department is affiliated with?
Sure. So with regard to admission to the program, most of our students are prepared to apply to the BSN program sometime during their sophomore year for admission during the junior year. Now that's individual based on what students have taken before they came to JMU, what they take once they get to JMU, how successful they are in their prerequisites. So we work with each student individually. But on average, our students are prepared and their goal is to apply in the fall of their sophomore year so that they can enter the nursing program during the fall of their junior year. We admit 113 students each semester for a total of 226 students a year. That's huge in comparison to many other programs if you do your research. Students are admitted based on a scoring rubric that is made up of the grades that in their prerequisite math and science courses as well as their cumulative JMU GPA. And those scores are determined and the top 113 students are admitted each semester. The application process takes place in December for fall applicants, but the transcript is not reviewed until the end of that semester in January. So if you're a fall applicant, then that means you have to submit your application form by December 1st, but then your transcripts are not reviewed until the end of the semester, like mid-January, January 11th. And the same happens in the spring. The application is due July 1st, and transcripts are not reviewed until August 31st to allow for summer course sessions. As far as our affiliations go with clinical partners, that's a very long list that I probably can't just list over this Zoom chat without taking over the whole thing. I know a lot of people reflect on us whether we are or aren't affiliated with a teaching hospital, and we are not. And oftentimes I think there are mixed feelings about that, but we actually feel very good about that. It allows our students to have a varied experience. So we are affiliated with several hospitals: Rockingham Memorial Hospital, Centera, RMH in Harrisonburg, Augusta Health in Fishersville, We have students who go to Martha Jefferson, UVA, Winchester Medical Center, but we also are affiliated with lots of agencies that are not hospitals so that our students get a varied experience in community health, pediatrics, women's health, community experiences and engagement. So there are lots of those. We also have a lot of experience, connections with nursing homes and rehabilitation centers because the geriatric population is growing vastly and our students need to have lots of experience in working with those populations. So if you come to JMU as a nursing major, you won't just work in one teaching hospital. You'll get to be in lots of places.
It is amazing, the varied and the range of experiences our students get in our nursing program. Thank you so much, Kelly. Andy Peachy, the last question of the chat is coming to you. This is from Leah. She says, I'm undeclared, but I'm considering health sciences with a pre-PA minor. If I declared a health science major with pre-PA at a later date, will I be behind or will I still be on track? So I guess she's talking about the timing. Should she come in with that or can she think about it and do exploring and choose that later?
So during the orientation process that happens over the summer, you'll have a chance to talk with an advisor. And so at that point, it might be good to talk about possible options that you might have. In general, the sooner you declare your major, the better, but certainly we have students change their major in their freshman and sophomore years and stay on graduate in 4 years. The later you do it, you might need to add during summer school, the courses within the PA minor can be challenging, and so you might have to take more of those challenging courses at the same time than if you had declared initially and could spread those courses out a little bit. So there's a lot to think about, but you have some flexibility in when you declare, and sort of changing from undeclared to health sciences would be fairly easy. If you were changing from music to health sciences, some of those courses might not count as much than they would be elective credits. So kinesiology to health science is easy, nursing to health science is pretty easy, psychology. So lots of different options, but be sure to let your advisor know what you're thinking and they can help guide you.
Great. Thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you so much to our viewers for joining us today. If we weren't able to get to your questions during this panel, please leave your questions in the comments section and we'll make sure to respond to all of those. You can also visit the Choices website for more info. I had mentioned the Choices links, the FAQs, the pre-professional health page. Please pursue all those. Our wonderful colleagues here would be happy to answer any more questions. And we hope you have a great day. And go Dukes, choose JMU.